Hello everyone, and welcome back to a very spooky edition of the D&D CR Exposed videos here on my YouTube channel. Today we are looking at a very special thing, and because today is Halloween, I figured why not take a look at a special monster someone had suggested. I don't know how long ago it was, but it felt very appropriate that today we should be doing that. So to get out of the usual loop of having our D&D CR Exposed videos on Sunday, we're having a special event here, and that is for the Pumpkin King from the Tome of Beasts 2 book by Kobold Press here. Now, before we get into exposing the Pumpkin King CR, I know, gasp. If you like what I'm doing here and you would like to use this tool for yourself, go ahead and go into the links in my description for my Ko-fi page and find the CR tool that you can download for free off my Ko-fi page, or donate if you feel so inclined to. Again, donations are completely optional and you do not need to. Just go ahead and use the tool for free if you feel so inclined. All right. Beyond that, if you like to also submit a monster to be reviewed that hasn't been reviewed yet, go ahead and drop a comment on the video or use the Google form as well. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into exposing the Pumpkin King CR. So, we have ourselves a huge Fae here. And this Fae is supposed to be a CR10 challenge rating with a 15 AC. And we have, let's see here, huge. So this is going to be, let's get that huge in there. Oh man, this is a really big pumpkin. We're talking like Charlie Brown huge. And I have stick around to the end of the video because I have something funny to talk to you about that with the Charlie Brown Halloween special. Okay, we have 12d12 hit dice, with a total of 20 strength, 8 dex, 21 constitution, 12 intellect, 14 wisdom, and 18 charisma. Then we move down into our dex saving throws. Our saving throws, we have 2, we have damage vulnerabilities to fire, and we have a bunch of resistances. Bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magical attacks made with cold iron, because they're Fae. So we're gonna go ahead and throw in the resistances since we have 3. We also have conditioned immunities, but that doesn't matter, and the rest of this doesn't matter either. Now, let's jump down into our monster traits. And we have legendary resistance for 3 per day, and then we also have magic resistance. So these are the common duos here, the dynamic duo, and we will go ahead and add those in for 60 effective hit points and +2 effective AC for both of those. Then we also have innate spellcasting. Now, I haven't had a chance to look over this, but we do have a couple good spells here. We have Blight, Insect Plague, Plant Growth, and Spiked Growth. So the Spiked Growth is pretty good. We do have the Blight and the Insect Plague, though. So let's take a look at those. Okay, so we found our spells here. We have Blight and we have Insect Plague. Now, Blight is going to be 36 DPR, no concentration, but the Insect Plague is concentration. So we will likely put this one up for first if we so need it. Let's go ahead and take a note of these. We have 44 and 36 for possible spells here. And we'll add those in somewhere around here. Let's just say 34 and, what was it, 36? I don't recall. 44 and 36, there we go. 44, 36. Anything we want to do down here? No, I think we're good here. I think, yeah, this is something I'm working on for the tool if it's not already out there. Alright, so we have those 2 spells that are worthwhile. The Spiked Growth is okay, but, it's a concentration spell, so we'll skip over that. Let's take a look at our multi-attacks and actions. The Pumpkin King makes 2 Vine attacks, and the Vine attacks are going to be at a 9. Okay, so we got the 9 there. I wonder, yeah, anyways, we got the 9 there. We have 3d6 plus 5, so let's just go ahead and throw that in there. The plus 5 is coming from strength, so we have 15.5 and a potential for grappled, which is going to be good. Go ahead and throw those in. We do have the multi-attack here, which is 2 Vine attacks, so we'll say that times 2, giving us 31 DPR per round. And we also potentially have the grappled, so we'll add in that grappled restrained for +1 AC effective change. There we go, constrict. Alright, from here we have the Harvest Dance, which can be done once per day. 15-foot radius swirling vortex of gourds and vegetables. Extend moves as they move. The vortex lasts a minute, and it makes it difficult terrain. Alright, so... Oh, we do have damage, though. Creatures enter the area for the first time on a turn. Start a turn in the area. It must make a DC Dex save, taking 3d6 bludgeoning damage on a failed save or half as much. Alright, so... This is actually Might be, yeah, this is also something good to have. This is an action. So the question is, what is going to be more effective? Probably the Insect Plague, although we could do the Harvest Dance afterwards. So let's see here. We do have the possibilities. Oh, we can cast a spell too, so we have that also as a legendary action. So we'll go ahead and definitely add that in as well. So we'll do 3d6 up here for 10.5. That will be our second item. And then we can move down into our legendary actions. So let's see what we have here for that. We can do a move. The Pumpkin King can move without provoking attacks of opportunity. Now, that is a flyby ability. And let's see here. Flies and damage. No. Yeah, that's right. It's been a while since I've had to deal with this. Flybys don't trigger anything on the CR tool here, unlike Tales of the Valiant, which it does. So for this instance, moving is going to basically just be kind of like a teleport, actually. So what we can do is, since we can move without provoking attacks of opportunity, down here we would say, all right, let's add in the 30, and we could see that we're going to get 27 effective hit points for this every time we use it. So there's that to consider here. And I wonder, I can't do this backwards. Yeah, it only goes forwards. Alright, so we've got that. We do have Vine Attack. We can make one Vine Attack for three times. So we will put that in here and say times 3. And we have Fire Fallow. Magical fire ignites from within the Pumpkin King's head, flickering out from their eyes and twisted mouth. Each creature within 10 feet of the Pumpkin King that can see it must succeed or be frightened. Let's see here. First, while the fires last, a creature that touches or hits the Pumpkin King with a melee weapon attack while within 5 feet of the Pumpkin King takes fire damage. Okay. Now how long does this last? I may have missed that. While fire remains until the start of the Pumpkin's next turn. Okay, so it's just one round. That's not even worth bothering to do because we don't get anything at this level for CR10 and above. We don't get any kind of bonuses for fear effects because generally speaking players have a good chance of defending against that. Although technically the rules say it should be for player level 10, which in essence this might work. It's kind of weird. I'm not really entirely sure. And then on top of that, we have the spell casting of three actions to do a spell cast. So that is actually going to be pretty handy here. So we could say, now that we have everything kind of situated, we can do the Insect Plague, and we can also set up the Harvest Dance to maintain that, because it lasts for 1 minute, as we see there. So let's go ahead and throw this in here. So round 1, we're going to set up concentration on both the AoE attack here, and on top of that we're going to also add in the 44 from the Insect Plague that will move around and potentially hit, characters every round of combat if it's placed properly. So that's round 1. And then round 2, we're going to we still have both of those things going on. We're going to go ahead and make our multi-attack, plus, what else can we do here? Well, we have the 36 from that one spell, but yeah, it's actually a little better to do the one spell there, which is kind of funny. And we can do that spell how many times? Blight. We can do Blight once. I suppose that'll be worthwhile. So we'll go ahead and throw in the 36 from Blight. Excuse me, wrong spot. Yep. And then we also have the legendary actions here. Well, all in all, this Fire Fallow isn't the greatest thing. The legendary actions for more Vine attacks is going to be more apparent as damage goes through, so we'll go ahead and add that in there. And then last round of combat, we're going to, once again, we're going to have those two things going that we had set up, the concentration, also the AoE that we're doing, and I don't believe that's a concentration, right? Yeah, it's just the AoE vortex that moves with them. So we're not going to worry about plant growth or spike growth or entangle. I mean, those could be handy, but at this point, more than likely, we're doing some nasty damage. And right off the bat, we're already seeing a huge increase in damage. So we're going to do our multi-attack again, and we're going to do the Vine Whip. So we're hitting for 5 Vine attacks. And not surprising here that our Pumpkin King is... Yeah, that's Pumpkin King, right? Yep, the Pumpkin King here is doing a load of damage. So, as you can see here, we're hitting offensively for a CR19, OCR19, and a DCR 14 for basically a CR 16.5. And I always round up because they say that do that in the rules. Now, let's back this up a little bit. Let's say we don't concentrate on those two things, and every round of combat we are just doing, we'll throw in the one blight, and we'll also do this here for that, and now we have a CR 14. So, if you go all out, you're going to see a CR 17. If you just do straight Vine Whips, you're going to see a CR 14. Now, bringing this back 1 minute. Now, as I always say, more than likely our characters have magical equipment to bypass resistances. This is going to drop it down to a CR 15 at this maximum area. And if we get rid of the concentration spells and we just go all out Vine Whip attacks, plus 1 Blight, then we're seeing CR 12. And we're actually getting closer to the CR 10 that we are suggested to be here. So, there you go. Your Pumpkin King may vary, but hopefully this is a very spooky and quite deadly encounter for your characters at the table if you are playing on Halloween today, hopefully. In any event, thank you so much for watching this CR Exposed for the Pumpkin King from Tales of the Valiant. And again, if you like what I'm doing here and you'd like to do this as well, you can grab this tool from my Ko-fi page, link in the description, and grab it. It's free to use, or you can donate if you feel so inclined. Oh, I almost forgot. Before we go, the thing about Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin, the Halloween episode. You know how, what was it? Linus was always saying like, "Oh, the Great Pumpkin's coming, the Great Pumpkin's coming," and he sits out in the pumpkin patch all Halloween night, and the Great Pumpkin never comes. What did Linus do in the very beginning of the Halloween edition for the Peanuts show? He grabs a giant, massive pumpkin out of the pumpkin patch. Someone might call that a great pumpkin. Brings it home, carves it up, and sets it outside. I don't even know if he sets it outside. He just carves the thing up and turns it into a jack-o'-lantern. I have a feeling the reason why Linus never saw and met the Great Pumpkin is because he killed the Great Pumpkin before it was time for Halloween. There you go, folks. That's how I just ruined your Peanuts special. My poor mom. My mom loves all the Peanuts, and I ruined it for her too. So she can't get that out of her mind now, and neither can you. All right, everyone. Happy Halloween.